How's it going, guys, and thanks for visiting my channel. If you're looking for something ultra compact to fit everywhere, including maybe carry on, I have a cute little something to show you guys here. This is the Weeylite Ninja 300, and look at the front LED cover here. Everything is so tiny, but this light is actually an 80-watt light, and look at all this stuff here. These are actually ways to power this light, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the Weeylite Ninja 300. This light is also sold in kits or the light by itself, and something of this low price here. This particular thing that I'm reviewing here, this particular kit here, is $179 currently at the making of this video. And a quick disclaimer here, Weeylite sent me this light for me to test it out. I'm not affiliated with this company. I don't get paid to say anything here. All my words are my own, and this video is not sponsored by anybody. All I'm doing here is review some lights for you guys. My YouTube needs content, which is great, so thank you very much for sending me this light. There are many ways to buy this light here. You can actually buy the light itself, but they also offer other kits there that includes a softbox. Some other kits that include a softbox plus the Sony NPF adapter here. There are so many ways that you can actually power this light here, which is very interesting, and a lot of people don't even know. You can even run a V-mount battery with this particular light here. Since this light accepts an 18 volt of input current here, and the V-mount battery is about 16-ish volts. So you can actually power this light via the DC adapter or with the Sony NPF batteries. Before I received this light here, I already knew this thing comes with a bunch of accessories here, but usually lights of this price, especially the little tiny little lights like this, they usually don't come with any case whatsoever, and finding a case is very frustrating, not to mention that you have to spend extra money and also your time to find these cases. Maybe it's going to be too big, too large, too small, too tall, whatever. I'm sure you're familiar with the Godox ML60, and they both include their own proprietary front little mount system here, but this light comes included with the bonus adapter, in which you can actually run all kinds of modifiers, from snoots to soft boxes and everything. And this is an 80-watt light, very compact light. And speaking of compact light, you gotta make sense to keep everything small and compact, right? You don't want to be running here a 60-inch modifier, but the thing is, the larger the soft box, the more the light has to travel, and most soft boxes, they have at least 2 layers of diffusion, which is also more things for the light to actually cut through those true diffusers. So keep everything compact, something that makes sense. Otherwise, buy like, an Aperture 600D, right? But I personally would actually choose the smaller softbox that I have, because that's, again, the whole purpose of the little light like this here, because sometimes I do corporate video interviews, especially doctors' offices. Some of those rooms, they're so small that I can't fit anything there, so everything has to be small, but I need that extra quality, the nice soft light, and this light will do that because of the bonus mount, and it's a COB chip, so you can actually hook up all kinds of modifiers here. This light comes with this very nice case here, is extremely padded inside and out, and is the same quality, similar to what Godox makes with their lights here. Even the feet are identical, such as the SZ150R. Around the case here, between the case inside and out, it comes with a reinforced plastic material here. Same thing with the Godox cases, that makes this cases very tough. It's not only padding, there's like a plastic thing in the middle here. And inside here, you're gonna see the dividers here. They are also 1 inch in thickness, and you can actually remove and arrange in any way that you like, but the best setup for this particular lights and its accessories is this particular shape here. And on top, you're gonna see the zipper here, and also comes with a handy strap, which you attach right here. It also comes with a proprietary reflector, also the bonus mount adapter, a very nice backlit remote control, and of course this light can run on the app as well. A tiny little protective LED cap, an AC adapter with a 10-foot long power cord, a Sony style NPF 970 batteries plus the 2 batteries included. And also this very nice and short DC cable, in which connects the battery holder to the back of the light. And also come with this little strap here. They have like a buckle kind of thing, but I have no idea what this does or what that's for. All I know is this thing fits my wrist and it is actually adjustable. Other than that, no idea. And this kit also comes with a handle, which is invisible here right now, because when they sent me this light, they didn't provide the handle because it was out of stock apparently. But this light also comes with the little handle here. I wish I had it, but I don't have it. For the extra convenience, there are 3 ways to power this light here. Obviously with the supplied AC-DC adapter. Second option will be the Sony NPF 970 battery holder here. And the third option is to run via V-mount battery, which I believe most consumers on Amazon that's going to be purchasing this light for their YouTube little whatever, they probably have no idea what a V-mount is. All you need is a D-tap cable right here. Plug the regular DC barrel on the back and power the light, and there you go. Alright, so right now it's time to talk about the stuff that you guys want to hear or maybe don't want to hear. because I'm talking about the fan noise here, because most lights, they come with a built-in fan, and they usually advertise the fan is silent or whisper quiet or whatever that is. But don't worry, because I actually have good news, but I still want to show you this anyway. So let's turn on the fan here. So it's like I'm editing 8K video on my computer and I have my ear half an inch from the CPU fan, right? So take a good listen to this thing here. It's extremely loud. So I'm not gonna even bother turning the mic that way to see if I can actually mute the noise somehow. This place here is dead quiet. You can hear everything. If I drop a hair here on the carpet, you're gonna hear. Thank God you have the ability to hold the key here in the back, fan off. There you go. Becomes a silent light. Press and hold again here, and here's the light without any fan whatsoever. But the interesting thing is, in other lights they have the ability to shut off the fan. They usually limit the percentage of the light. For example, some lights, they are limited to 35% or maybe 50%. And this is what worries me a little bit here, because this light has no limitation. If you are running on AC, on the batteries, or fan on or fan off, you can actually run 100%. I'm with the fan off, you can actually run 100%. So that worries me a little bit, because the temperatures here, if you use this thing for a whole hour, can exceed almost 140 to 150 degrees. So I actually let this light run for about, I don't know, 25 minutes, and the temperature was on the upper 130s. The Godox SL60W, it will shut off at 70 degrees Celsius. I don't want it to run this light anywhere above 70%, because this light will probably get damaged, because the hotter the LED gets, the shorter the LED light will be. So I would say that they actually have to update the firmware here to actually reduce the intensity when you're using the light with the fan off, like any other light that you've ever seen. This is the first light that I've ever seen out of like 140 lights that are reviewed that the fan off actually gives you the full blast of the LED on here without any massive heat sink or anything like that. So I would be careful with this. But the good news is the light is silent, and this is an 80-watt light. So for most interviews, like a one-person interview like this here, you can easily run this light at probably 25%, because most of you guys shooting wide apertures anyway, like f1.2 or f1.8, f1.4. So that should not be a big deal. But if you need to blast a light here with the reflector, I would go 70%. If you install a softbox here, which actually tends to accumulate more heat with the body here, I wouldn't pass like 55%. I mean, it's up to you, but this is just something that I actually recommend. Hey, I'm not the engineer of this light. Maybe it's okay to run, but as far as my experience goes, I would not run a light at 150 degrees, 160 some degrees here. It just doesn't make sense. That's why most manufacturers, they will limit the LED to like 35 or 50%. So pretend you have a limit here. Now, just so you know, when you turn off the light here, the fan automatically turns on by default, which is a good thing, especially after you're using this light without any fan and the light is kind of hot when you are on a break. Just to leave it at 0% with the fan spinning, which is going to be helping the light to cool faster. Or you can just go back to the menu here and simply turn the fan off, and there you go. Now, one thing that I love about this battery adapter here is because it has a lock here, so in case you are hand holding the light, you can actually shake the light or whatever it is they want to do. These batteries, they are locked here, they're not going anywhere. You simply press the button here, and then you can actually eject the batteries out of here. And also there's an in and out mode here, so when you switch to in, this thing actually turns into a battery charger. So when you actually connect the actual DC cable here on the bottom of this thing here, this thing also becomes a charger. So when you actually plug the batteries back in here, this is actually charging your battery. How cool is that? And there's also a display here on the bottom here that lets you know how far you're actually charging the batteries, which is very nice. And to supply power to the light here, all you need to do is to switch to the out position, unplug the DC cable here, plug this cable underneath here, plug the cable in the back, and the light is on. And again, switch to the in position, this becomes a charger, but you cannot operate this light as long as it is in this position here. This is going to be only used as a charger. So switch it to out, and then it becomes a power supply to the light. This light also memorizes the last setting that you did, but it's not instant. So if you want to set the light to 17% and shut it off, and it's not gonna work that way. You gotta wait at least 30 seconds and then you actually power the light off. And this reflector here comes with the same waffle design like you've seen in other new reflectors from other lights, which helps to maximize the light output when you actually install the reflector on the light. Now if you want to use honeycombs and things like that, you probably need to gaffer tape because these sizes here, they're very unusual, but still there's a possibility if you need to put a honeycomb here of some sort, but you're gonna have to probably gaffer tape unless they make such accessory for this, which I have not seen. I'm actually using a Godox SL60W with a modified fan done by me, which is the easiest light for me to grab from the shelf. There's not really a particular preference, it's just like the easiest light to set it up here. But now I'm going to be showing you guys here, I'm going to replace the light switch around here, this particular light with the same exact softbox that I'm using here to show you guys how I look like with the Ninja 300. So right now I have the Ninja 300 as my main key light here, and the remote is displaying 34%. And I'm about, I would say, 3 feet away from the light. And the light meter is asking for f5.6.5 ISO 800 at 30 frames per second. I have my phone here. I'm gonna hit record right now and show you guys the light and the actual percentage here. And this is the actual bonus adapter that comes with this light here. This is made of plastic, but it is ABS plastic, which is durable, but I wouldn't put anything too heavy here. And again, it doesn't make sense that you put a ginormous modifier with a little light like this here, even though 80 watts is a decent power. But you know, it will hold most soft boxes appropriate for this size here. And on the side here features a ratchet knob, which you can also pull out and adjust whatever position that you want. And on the bottom here, which is the part that you attach to the light stand, this whole thing is made of plastic, so just take it easy with this thing here. No need to over tighten anything. Now the front bonus mount element here, I would say even if you want to use like a 30-inch soft box, this might be able to hold it. But again, what I'm worried about is the amount of stress that's going to be held on this plastic part here. So again, I would stick to a 25-inch and lesser size soft box. And what makes the light tilt back and forth here is similar to a GoPro design here. So when you actually tighten this, it shouldn't go anywhere as long as you're not holding anything too heavy here. Now the light itself has its own spigot mount, and this one here also has its own mount, but I would highly recommend that you want to using a softbox here that you actually mount this part into the light stand, because you don't want this whole thing to cause stress on the light itself. So let the whole thing handle the stress. Similar to a 70-200 Canon lens, you don't want to be putting the actual camera on a tripod because the lens is going to be causing a lot of stress on the camera mount, right? Same exact science over here. So when you're using a modifier with this adapter here, make sure you place this one on the stand instead of using the light with the actual spigot mount here. I've seen a lot of lights that come with this little transparent little LED protective cap here, which is very easy to forget the thing on, right? So make sure you remove this here, because it's very easy to forget this here because it's not black, it's just like a transparent thing, so it's very easy to happen. So here's the back panel here, and obviously the input is where the light receives power from. The light with the fan on or off, you can go from 0 to 1% increments all the way to 100% and very quickly. And this light is daylight only, locked at 5600 degrees Kelvin only. It also features a USB-C, which is only for firmware upgrade. The current firmware that I have this light is version 1.1, and obviously your on and off switch right here. So on this page here, when you actually press in this button here, nothing happens. This is actually for later. So to change this page, you press the M key right here. It takes you to the effect, and press the M key again, it takes you back to the CCT page. Going back to the effects page, you can still adjust your power from 0 to 1% increments all the way to 100. I'm gonna leave it at 20% here, so exposure will be okay, maybe 30. Now press this button here, you can actually adjust the speed from fast to normal or slow. You don't have to press anything here, just by selecting here is enough. Because if you press it again, it's going to change the effects, which is the third line right here. So you have the little camera thing, paparazzi or whatever that is, the TV. Then you have some other stuff here, linear, curved, and some lighting effects here. But these effects here, I'm not going to use them at all because they don't do what I want. The main use for this light is actually the actual CCT. Press the menu button again, takes you back to the CCT page. Now when you press and hold the menu button, that's when you actually have access to your Bluetooth settings. So you can actually adjust your channels here from 1 to 19. Pressing this button here, you can also change another group from letter A to letter F. Then you tap it here quickly. The next step is going to be the temperature. I'm not sure what that's for because this is not a bicolor light. So leave it set you off or on. It doesn't make any difference here. Now pressing the menu key once again, that's when you have the fan access here. So right now I set you off, and now it's set back to on when you press this button here. That's quite some fan. So when you actually press it again, it switches to off. However, when you actually power the light off, next time you power it back on, the fan is going to be automatically engaged, which again is a good thing to happen. And the yoke here is made of a very thick aluminum, and it has very sharp teeth and a rubber washer here, and it can actually be very tight. What I recommend you doing when you actually loosen this here, just to help with the other hand to level the light out, and then you actually finish here, screwing this thing here. But after you tighten, this thing is not going anywhere. It's very nice and secure here. And here's what the top of the light looks like inside. You have a heat sink there, and everything is made of metal here. And here's the bottom part of the light, also made of aluminum, and the fan is located right here. Even with the power supply plugged in here, you can actually tilt the light completely upwards like this here. Here's a quick view of the remote. This is your on and off power button. Press and hold. It also displays the firmware version. And the plus and minus here, you go from 0 to 1% increments. You press and hold. The light immediately updates. There's no delays. And if you press this button here, you are assigned to the group already. Now to change, you press and hold if you want to change the channel. That's when you change the channel. Then you press the minus and plus keys here to change whatever letter that you want. Now to change the channels here, no need to press and hold, just tap real quick this button here, go back to the groups as you can see. And then you keep pressing the same button. Now the mode button here, you press and hold. This is a 5600 degree Kelvin light only. So right now we are at the RGB, which has nothing to do with this light. That's why nothing responds here. Press and hold again. Is more RGB. Press and hold again. That's the effect. So this light has effects. So that's when you see it changing here. Press mode again. Switches back to the CCT. This remote needs 2 AAA batteries, and I actually put a little Velcro here. So on the bottom of the yoke here, this is actually where I keep the remote. So right now I'm just using the phone regular audio, showing you guys here the back of the light is at 100%, with the light placed at 1 meter away from the projection screen here. And measuring the light here from the very center, you're looking at f5, 6, almost f8, as you can see here. If I approach a little bit away from the wall, it's going to be f8. So technically f8. Another thing that you definitely want to know, when you're actually using this adapter here, try not to touch this because the light will fall. It's so easy to touch this button here when you're adjusting this. Stay away from this button when the light is actually mounted here. Now here's the light at bare bulb, exactly 1 meter from the projection screen right there. So with the light at 100%, the meter is going to read from the center here, it's going to read F11. Now with the reflector here, 100%, same distance with the light meter, it's going to be reading almost F32. So if you approach a couple inches out of the wall, it's going to be F32. So pretty much F32 with 100% blast at 30 frames per second, ISO 800. Now, as I mentioned here, doesn't matter if you're actually supplying power from the battery or from the provided DC adapter. The fan right now is off, but you have the same intensity. There's no limit. Some lights, they limit to either 50% or maybe 35%. I've seen some lights. But this one here is always at 100%. So I'm going to measure the temperature here for you. The temperature is reaching about 160 degrees, which is very hot in my opinion. Switching to Celsius, you're talking about 70 degrees. So this is actually the temperature that Godoc's SL60W is going to enter shutdown mode. So I'm warning you, even though this lets you run at 100% with the fan off, do not exceed 50% with the softbox on or 70% with the reflector. This is so hot, it's burning my hand here. This is extremely hot. So I'm actually going to turn this fan on because this thing is really hot. So again, I'm warning you, do not attempt to run this light at 100% without fan because it will damage this light. They should fix the software and not allow users to run this light without fan at 100% because the fan is so hot right now here, it's making me cringe. Now the good thing here is that I can actually run the fan at 0% to allow the light to cool even faster. I actually ran this light less than 20 minutes and it's reaching this type of temperature here. And here's the actual temperature in this room, about 75 degrees. So that concludes my review. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel here. And if you want to drop anything in the comment section, I'll make sure I respond to every single thing, as you guys already know me. So thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.